Okay.
Yes.
No? Oh, yeah, it's actually on our website. It says Select Board Workshop 2:30 to 4:30.
We'll cover that.
Just noting a correction there, folks, our workshop ends at 4 o'clock today. Unless it's
Highly.
extended for unusual circumstances. Okay, as soon as I get my keep me alive juice here.
Did you grab the coffee from the kitchen?
What's that?
Did you grab the coffee from the kitchen?
Yeah. Is it Mondays? Yeah. Hey, like I said, I put enough stuff into it, doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, I was gonna say, it'll keep you alive.
The special town meeting now for warrant articles, just the trash contract,
Yes.
Just that one?
And
And,
another contract with our new attorney.
okay.
and I'm wondering if we might consider, we don't have to make a decision today, but maybe we would consider putting an amendment to the cannabis licensing facility ordinance that completeness of the application is done by the select board when we meet, and take it off of the town clerk, which we can do as an
Do
amendment.
that. Do we need a public hearing for that?
I'd have to look
Ordinance?
into it. Yeah, I don't know that we need a public hearing, but I know.
I think we do.
Okay.
I think we do.
Oh, this one's-
Which we could potentially do.
I think we need to make that change. I would be concerned about changing the process while we have applications in the process. Because we're not gonna have that meeting until,
Well, there-
and we'll have
We'll have
applications.
that after the
we'll have
16th.
Right, but we'll have applications before us,
Nope, not until the planning board signs them.
potentially have them before us, though.
Yeah, but
But-
that process is at the beginning,
Right.
so nothing really changes.
The select board, the planning board has to do
Existing
their
ones. Yeah.
review and vote on their, whatever that they vote on for the conditional use.
Right, but we're
So
not
we
meeting
won't see
until the end of April, right? Is when we were planning to do the public hearing?
April 28th, something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Or the special town meeting, and then.
right,
Right. Yeah, I guess we'll look into what needs to happen first.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are we looking at? Sorry.
So if we can start with the Division 20, that's the biggest, and I sent an email with just summary of different things that need to be done, but I guess the basic purpose is to determine what's over budget and what you need a special town meeting warrant article for. So has everybody got their sheet? Okay. So if we can just run down this real quick. There are some accounts that need to be merged. There's 2 select board accounts that need to be merged here, so that's not the real amount. There's another one on page 2, and we have to move that into the 5001 account. So just what do you gonna call it? Small edits and trio, I guess. Same with miscellaneous office. That's at 5005. There's another miscellaneous office on the 3rd page. Those all kind of need to live together. And there's no budget right now for miscellaneous office. But if you look at Article 9, building grounds miscellaneous clerk was approved for $3,930. That amount just lives in building and ground on the 2nd page, account 5008, and nothing's been spent out of that. I think we should move that probably to miscellaneous clerk, or combine it all into one account, building grounds miscellaneous clerk, just like the article reads.
Can I just make a suggestion? Leave the miscellaneous alone and see if you can put in the grounds in the title somehow and move the budget up to there, because miscellaneous is supposed to be also for miscellaneous wages. And I ended up creating separate miscellaneous accounts after the voter budget because David was working in the town clerk's office. I had someone come in for the select board in here for miscellaneous office work. So it didn't fit under grounds, so, but that is supposed to be for grounds, miscellaneous work, when we have someone come in.
But
To
they're
save
all-
you from doing a whole bunch of entries.
They're different account numbers, that's the only
Yeah.
problem, so. We need to do something with that, so if you take that in consideration, the miscellaneous wages is not over budget, because there is actually a budget line item for that. We just need to make the accounting work on it, I guess.
So can you not have a miscellaneous, let's see, and I may be missing the point here, but a miscellaneous category and have grounds and clerical under that, and that way you've got the budget item that covers both of them.
I think we can
Yeah.
rename that whole account,
Yeah.
so. Your building and grounds account has existed for the last 2 years, that 5008 building and ground, but we can change it.
Have we spent out of it in the
No.
last
No.
couple of years?
No.
No,
Last-
that's what we used to pay our mower.
Oh, I was gonna say
The
grounds is
contract.
for grounds, right,
Yeah.
so why would you have clerk or office help under that?
I don't know. So maybe we can make that edit
The
next town
select
meeting.
board agreed to use that line, that budget line, for miscellaneous work also.
So should we just rename the 02 account on page 3? Building grounds miscellaneous clerk, just like it reads in the article?
You sort of don't see that.
Yeah, I'm looking for 02.
On the third page, it says 02 miscellaneous wages. That's where all the expenses are. At the very bottom. It says 02 miscellaneous wages.
Oh, there we go.
bold.
Okay. What are all these miscellaneous wages? I need to ask.
What is
So-
miscellaneous office, what's that?
The clerk so Pam Pride has been helping us out in the clerk's office, and that was also another option. She has been filing all the voter registration cards and purging the deleted ones of people that are deceased. She took that over and got all that done and organized for us. And now she's working on rabies certificates, organizing all that, pulling all the ones that are no good, and then putting all the recent ones in a 3-ring binder for us. That's just stuff that we need help with. It's,
I didn't
organizing.
know about this. Did you guys know about this?
I knew Pam was helping out, yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was an
Did you know we were
understanding.
Paying her?
Yeah, it's been in the warrant.
It's been in the warrant, and,
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I talked about it a while ago, and it was okay, but
Okay.
are you not okay with that, or?
I don't know. What are we paying her?
The same as a ballot clerk.
Which is?
It is $16.16 per hour.
Okay. Yep. No, that's fine.
Ricky used to do the rabies certificates for us, and David doesn't, so it needs to be done. And also, registration cards. We had boxes and boxes of old ones that needed to be filed.
Yeah.
So she helped us get ahead of that game.
And these
so-
are like hard copies that you have to go?
Yeah, the registration cards when someone comes and registers.
Okay,
so-
yep.
So we have to have those all cataloged, and we had boxes of them, so.
So miscellaneous office is payroll, and then you've got miscellaneous wages coming out of the grounds as well?
No,
No,
2 different accounts.
okay.
But the article reads that it's all one account, which isn't really correct, but, because they're different accounts.
What page is that one on?
Page 65, Article 9.
So that 3930 that's in 5008 under 01 should be under 02
Yep,
miscellaneous wages.
that's what I think. And again, this miscellaneous office help is gonna be, it's not forever. It's for us to get our head above water.
Mm-hmm.
We had lots and lots of old filing to do, and she offered to help. And I don't think she needs to donate that time. We have a budget for it. I thought it was okay to do. So if you don't agree, then we can have her stop.
No. We're good. Okay,
So we'll do that. ACO, we have an over budget on deputy ACO, and nothing's been paid out of the ACO budget. That's on page 3. 5020 is ACO budget. There's no expense, and 5025 is the deputy ACO, and that's over budget by $819 and change. So I don't know what you want to do with that. He's going to switch to the ACO now,
Right.
but I don't know what you want to do with that overage.
yeah, we should shift $819 and change to cover that.
Okay.
And just zero it out.
We need to
I
add,
mean, move money from the, full-time, well,
The
the,
ACO budget
Yeah.
to the deputy
yeah,
ACO.
so you need a transfer sheet to do that?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
do you need a vote to do that?
Personally, I don't have a problem not voting on that. It's ACO. I will defer to you guys.
Deputy animal control. We don't even have a deputy animal control now, so.
What I've done in the past is just give you a memo and have you sign it to approve that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I would say no, we don't need to vote on that.
So just make that transfer so it zeroes out.
Well, yeah, let us get the transfer sheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
5026 CEO salary, there's no budget line item. Budget was put into, the other is 3 CEO salary accounts. The 56,000 lives in a, excuse me, in the wrong account. It's stuck in 5007 CEO fees on page 2. No, 56,000 needs to move to the CEO salary 5026.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, that's just,
Okay.
right, I'm
Yep.
just going over the different edits that need to be done.
okay, now, what about the amounts that are taken out of the 5007?
There's never a budget item on that because
No,
it
that
depends
was,
on,
That's when he was earning his,
So those
fees.
will move as well?
No, because he would have been earning fees at that time.
Because that's under,
Payments were made.
instead of saying salary, it's CEO fees.
and he was paid a
507.
certain percentage of the fees for
Right.
his pay.
Right.
Okay, so that's one where we don't have a budget item for.
Right.
Okay,
It was against the revenues.
It's just in
Yeah.
the wrong account.
okay.
So we'll move that. And if we skip to, that's health insurance, page 7 is a safety grant line item. You have to add that safety grant budget or the reimbursement we got there.
Okay, the budget should be sitting in revenues,
Okay.
Danielle. Is that
So
what it
do we
is?
leave it in revenues or do we
Yes.
move it? Okay.
No, we have to leave it there.
Okay, so reporting wise though, we need to report that we got that money.
Yes.
For a
yes,
town meeting, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So if we could go to page 8, this is where it gets a little confusing. We had to combine some accounts to make sure we weren't over budget. So page 8, account 12, account 13, and account 14. No, not 14, excuse me. 12 and 13 need to be all combined because of where the budget lives. So you have to add account 12 and account 13 budget. So that's what I did off to the side there. We have a balance of $7,279, so we're all set. But it just looks like we're over budget there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can make those adjustments for town meeting, next cut there.
are those two swapped?
Danielle, you might be able to take, do you see where the money's sitting in computer expense?
Yeah.
12. Might be able to change the other ones that you want to switch up to where the budget is. Just change that 13 to a 12. It might just switch over. I don't know if I'm sure if that would work, but
Okay, well, we'll leave the implementation
Yeah.
to you guys.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now-
Well, we're
that
not over
one-
budget.
That one, so we actually had a $390 line item for software?
For web,
For the
Yeah,
web?
software.
Yeah, that was the
Software
last
web.
thing you added during the budget. I think that was it.
Yeah, the breakdown is awful. Yeah.
so.
Okay, well, I don't know what,
But there's a lot of that, there's a lot of zeros and, you know, you can see the red reporting because there isn't a budget item for those line items.
mhm,
Maybe next town meeting, we can work on that. So when you do run a trio report like this, they're not gonna come up red.
Right.
You have like a line item for each one, so.
yes, yes, exactly, yeah.
Do you understand what she's saying?
Uh-huh.
A line item for
Yes,
each
yes, a budget item for
item there.
each
Okay.
appropriate breakdown, yes.
So if you go down on, same on page 8, account 16, it's the same thing. You have to add utilities and maintenance of 32,000 and the small 570 Fred Morrill together. Fred Morrill budget, account 17 on page 9, has most of the building's expenses. And it only has a budget of $570. All the budget kind of lives in utilities and maintenance of 32,000.
Correct.
So you have to add 16, account 16 and 17 together, which is what I did at the bottom of page 8.
Mhm.
And it shows you have a balance of 20,000, so we're okay. But you do have to do a little math to make sure we're not
Mhm.
overrunning. We are over budget on one, account 19, it says municipal building. We're over budget by $6,275.
19.
Municipal building
Oh,
general and
Wait, is that the one?
What's coming out of that? Let's see.
I'm sorry, nope, that's the wrong one. $6,193. I used the other one, which was not correct. So page 10, in the middle, in the yellow.
Yeah.
So you have a $10,000 budget for a municipal building, and it's been overrun by $6,193.43.
Mhm.
So we're gonna need a transfer there somehow.
So,
Some of that might be able to go into the reserves, David. You look down at some of the items.
Well, the big hits are fuel oil,
Yep.
2 fuel
Yeah.
oil deliveries.
so how come there's a account for utilities and maintenance, an account for Fred Morrill, and an account for municipal building? Isn't
Fred
this,
Morrill, I separated the top one is electrical, it's all CMP bills. And then I created just for Fred Morrill, so we would know what we're expending for this building here. That's cleaning, power, phones, et cetera. But I mean, you know, you guys can always change it around whatever way you want it, so.
I mean, I don't know if we should do that now, but maybe
No,
the
no, no,
next
Yeah, if we
budget.
can do it at the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appropriate, yeah.
yeah, because like heating, I would anticipate that heating and CMP for this building would be in the same account, like in the same,
Yeah, utilities
yeah.
for this building. Right.
Well, I put all the expenses for this building in one Fred Morrill.
Now, how does it,
Well, where, I guess I'm missing that.
It's on page 9.
Okay, page 9, yeah.
It's item 17.
Fred Morrill, 17.
Yeah.
So then there's CMP.
So, yeah, the ones up above that, where the budget is sitting, is just the CMP bills for locations not here.
Yeah, okay. So those are all CMP bills,
Right,
okay.
the top one, yes.
But it's not all of the Fred Morrill expenses, because you've
All of
got,
Fred Morrill's expenses are under 17.
except the fuel oil
Right.
and service calls.
No,
Well, they're under 19, Deb. They're under 52, under 19.
this is municipal building general maintenance.
Your Secocas salt shed engineering plan came out of that as well.
Okay, well, so I guess what we need to know is Do we need to shift funds for this year?
Yes,
Okay.
you're over budget by 6,000 and change. I don't see really where we can move anything.
Well, the camera system expense, oh, we had 3,000 of that was part of the grant. 3,000 of the camera system was grant money. Where does that come into play?
Well, your camera came out of the municipal building reserve, account 20. So
Okay.
don't even look at that right now, because I think that's part of ARPA, right?
No,
No,
no.
So
No,
it's
that was
coming out of the-
MMA's, risk management grant.
So it's in the reserve.
Mm-hmm.
What is municipal building cap?
capital reserve,
Capital reserve?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
yep, and the revenue would
It
be
is
sitting
in-
in the revenue account, so,
we have to go through these reserves and stuff like this, because it says it's over budget, but it's not. I mean, it's 20 is a reserve account, but then there's a grant coming out of it. I mean, we gotta make some adjustments there.
Okay.
But the major focus is 19. Account 19 is over budget,
For real.
for real.
Okay. Not because we're gonna add something to it. Okay.
Because I think that 10 grand is that line item in your
What's,
warrant.
oh,
what's tank?
I
Oh,
see what you're
tank
saying,
inspection,
David.
okay.
Yeah,
Heat,
the heat is not there.
no, the heat should be up under Fred Morrow, 17.
Right, but the sub-account for heat, Fred Morrow, is in 19.
But it shouldn't be.
That's,
It's
that $12,000
Building
would,
maintenance, it shouldn't be there, because my intent with Fred Morrow was anything that had to do with Fred Morrow.
So in account 19, there is an account that says heat Fred Morrow.
Right.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
So
right. And it started in November, so you wouldn't have known.
where else would
Danielle.
you have paid out of the heat though? There's no other heat fund.
Fuel,
well, there's up in 17, there's 5252, a heat Fred Morrow.
yeah. Right there.
So there's two heat Fred Morrow accounts,
So
both are
there's-
5252, one's in 17,
Yeah.
one's in 19.
Yeah,
And
and you wouldn't have known that, so.
Well, we can move that heat if
And that solves your problem.
$12,000 worth.
12,000
Yep.
flips you
Okay.
6 on the positive, and you've got the room because you're 20
That's what I
positive.
mean. There's duplicate accounts, so
mhm,
it's hard.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so move 5252 up to
From 19 to 17.
Yeah.
175252.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
there we go. Perfect. No warrant article.
Correct.
Excellent. Yay.
And delete 195252.
It's hard because once you do have an entry, Trio won't let you delete it. Even
Right,
if you zero it out, it says no, something lives there.
You
There's
have
a
to wait
journal
a
entry
year.
there, and it
Yeah.
says you can't delete it. So
yeah.
that's why Excel's nice, so you can delete it.
5252.
That was the biggest thing, was the deputy ACO was over budget and municipal building, and that's the only two overruns I saw. The rest of the sheets are pretty straightforward. There aren't any overages. Sand and salt look great. We did get a $730 refund from Dwight Mills due to an invoice error.
Oh, really?
So they cut a check back to us and it's gonna be put back in there.
Cool.
So that looks good.
Where does the FEMA money live?
Well, that was a question I had on the Public Works expense report, on Maya's budget there, where you want that. We have to look at the FEMA money and where it goes appropriately. So,
Right, 'cause right now it's just sitting, you want it to go into reserve for him or what, so,
we need to put it in some sort of revenue or
yeah.
back to the roads somehow.
Be good to
Is
get
it
back
sitting
to the
in
road
miscellaneous?
somehow.
Yeah. So we can place it wherever you want.
All that money was for repair, equipment, debris removal.
Yep.
Yep.
A little bit of admin, but not much.
Keyser Falls fire budget.
That was a question I had,
Yeah.
it just is kinda sitting there, Keyser Falls has.
Where's that?
Nothing's been paid out.
The
The reserve accounts, none of the reserve account entries
22.
have been done.
But why is that a reserve account?
No, there's two. There's a
There's a
reserve.
regular account, operation account, and then there's a reserve account.
Right.
So 2201 is a reserve account?
I'm sorry.
No, 22015341 is a reserve account. That's the fire truck
Where are you
reserve.
looking? If I-
22.
22.
Section 22.
Okay.
The 22 PS.
I don't see, what page is that on? 'Cause I don't,
It's the very first
Very-
page.
oh, we're still on 20, right?
No.
No, I'm sorry, we just
Oh,
kind of
22.
skipped around, because there isn't really any other issues.
Okay.
22, Division 22.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's 81,000 for Keyser Falls fire budget that has not been paid out. And then there's a fire truck reserve account.
Surprised they haven't asked for any money.
Why
I'm
haven't
assuming-
they? He was, and you know, Jeff Dutel was here yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
So I'm assuming this reserve line item is money that's taken out of the reserve and put into,
No, that money goes to reserve.
From the budget to the
From the
reserve.
budget to the reserve.
oh, it says current budget 10 grand.
Right, it just hasn't been put in the reserve
Yeah.
yet.
Yep. That's the next thing, is going through these reserves.
Yep.
Because they really shouldn't be in here, because this is the checking.
Mhm.
It needs to be in the savings, if you would.
Right.
And
We
that
can
makes-
move the money, but we can't do the entries yet.
So that's a whole different
Yeah.
conversation. So the Division 26, that's a lot of the reserve work that we need to do. There's an account, ARPA funds, no budget, but all kinds of expenses for ARPA, so I don't know, we need to look at that as well. So
That will be reserve transfer in.
ARPA Kitchen, Inc. Refrigerator, not Inc. What?
Got me.
Got me. And there's two crossed out under,
Yeah, it's an,
Yeah, it got posted as an ink and then it got
it got reversed.
reversed.
Yeah. So why does it say refrigerator, not ink? Can it just say refrigerator?
It was in the office supplies account, she moved it,
Okay.
so.
All right. And that reminds me, I need the ARPA totals as of March 31st from somebody. ARPA
You need them by
expenditures.
David.
Next week would be good. It is not an easy reporting, so
Nope.
I'd like to get started on that.
And all of ARPA does not live in Trio, right?
Excuse me?
This is not all the ARPA funds, correct?
No,
Yeah, so we can't even look at Trio for ARPA, so.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I have a spreadsheet going.
Yeah, that's gotta go into Trio at some point.
Yeah.
so does that have its own spreadsheet in QuickBooks or Excel or something like that?
Excel.
Okay. So it gets added to these ARPA funds, is that? When you-
Whatever you see for expenses right now in
In,
26.
yep,
There will be a transfer from the reserve, opera reserves,
Into that.
Those accounts.
okay.
Yeah. It's recorded there, and then the revenue is recorded in the revenue general fund.
There was a request from a budget committee member yesterday to, you know, to start thinking for the budget committee to get together and look at everything.
Well, we can't yet, there's no way. I mean, May, they probably could. It won't be closed out, but we'll be in a better spot.
Yeah, I mean, that, if they can just start looking at things, I mean, they've got an understanding that we're not, our books aren't final.
Right,
until
they know
after the
that.
close of the
Yeah.
year,
Yeah,
but
they know
they've got an idea,
Yeah.
or can get an idea then of what's going on.
Yep.
At what point do we reach out to the boards and ask for, like, do we reach out and say, you know, planning board, what's your budget, you know, what do you need for a budget for,
For
the
the
next
next
year.
fiscal year?
Yeah.
Have we ever done that?
We do informally.
yeah.
Yeah.
We should probably do it more formally, but otherwise, we just take what they had last year and increase it by a COLA amount.
I think that's what we did, yeah.
That's what we do with wages, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, that makes sense for wages.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's an annual, you know, percentage increase there.
Right. But if the boards are busy with, you know, when I listened to the planning board, they were talking, I think they were talking about printing expenses. You know, that all this printing, they wanted copies of the comp plan, zoning ordinances, pulling out the shoreland, and then there was one more, subdivision.
I
And,
think
you know,
admin is covering all the printing.
colored
I mean, if
copies
they
are,
go
it's
out, I
expensive,
don't
right?
know.
Well, there's been some requests informally in there.
Yeah.
And we kind of wanted to hear from Desiree on like a big total, because we don't want a couple copies going, then another
Yeah.
couple
Then a
copies
couple.
going. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of just need a total, and, I mean, we could have Pam do it and bill out of the planning board account, really, of all the copies, if you wanted to do it in-house,
mhm.
so.
Now, they don't have a copier in there, do they?
Well, that's another thing, if she's gonna scan these big documents, that's a small printer
Yeah.
to kind of scan. Hey,
Easier from the school board for you.
you good?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I think they're bringing the budget book in.
Yep,
They said they would.
get ready for that.
Oh, very good. I'd like to see
All right,
it.
so I guess looks good and no articles, so.
We'll talk more, I'm sure, but
Yes.
thank you,
Well, it's
yeah,
good for Thursdays, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
Work on this a little bit here and there and get to where we need to be.
yeah.
Thank you.
Daniel, I'm
Thanks,
leaving
Daniel.
at 3:30, so I'll see you then.
Okay, thanks.
So, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen two things. First of all, we need to straighten the accounts out. And second of all, we need to have a line item budget for each area that's on there. Now, I don't know if that means we have to break down the warrant requests or if we can just down.
Usually it's the warrant request. You'll have a total amount and then you'll show
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
each line is.
like Article 9.
Yeah.
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 But then that would be estimated compensation amounts, and then
Yeah.
those are all,
Yeah, but then those need to be reflected in Trio.
Right.
So that worksheet comes up and it
and it shows
doesn't
these
show the
line
red.
items, right?
Yeah. We have to be able to see what's actually over budget. Yeah, okay, good.
And at this point, we've got 3 years of data in Trio that you can pull to see. Like, I started putting together like the budget versus the what was actually spent. But it's tough because a lot of the budgets are zero in their spends.
Right.
So it's tough to kind
Yeah.
of see,
Yeah,
or the account changed and the naming convention changed, so.
yeah.
Right now, I can't run any of the budgets if there's reserves, any entries for reserves or anything, because when they brought it over, it got messed up somehow, and I've been told almost 3 weeks ago that they were working on an update, and nothing's happened yet, so. Debbie, can I help you?
She's talking about Trio Web.
Yeah.
Good,
Well,
Randy, what's
not
up
the
here?
web, just Trio.
Trio.
Yeah, coming over from QuickBooks.
Oh, okay.
What is it? What is it, dear? How much is it?
There.
Oh, yep,
And honestly, if we have a category that has 2 or 3 or more subcategories, and we just get a budget vote or a warrant vote on the whole category,
Randy, it depends on your
with
income.
the authority
You're
to
gonna
break
have
it
to
down.
come in
within
Monday,
that.
I'll give
I
you
mean,
a
that-
general
we don't even
assistance
need- I mean, that's-
application, you
they're
can fill it
saying,
out, but it is
You know,
not,
for
just you
I don't know,
understand, it's not
for
an
pencils,
ongoing
we have red
thing.
pencils and green pencils and white
Okay,
pencils.
it is,
We get a budget for
Yeah, it's
pencils,
based
we can
on
break it
your
down how we want to,
income,
for
okay?
red, green, and white.
but you got, you know, you
So we
got
really
different
don't need
things,
a
and,
line
so
item
if you
for
wanna
each
stop in Monday
thing.
or
Some things it'll be
Tuesday,
meaningful to break
you'll be
down.
here
Uh-huh.
Monday for
But
sure,
not
right?
everything.
But not everything.
Not everything.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I'll give you
what
the
can
application
happen-
and I'll go
well,
over it with you,
I don't know enough about
okay?
Trio and their budget.
All right,
but
I get it.
Ideally, then you
I-
could go
I-
in each week
It was Ellen.
and update the budget amount for each subcategory, so it would zero out. It would come out of the main budget,
Uh-huh,
but zero out each subcategory, so you're not red,
uh-huh.
if that made any sense.
Yep.
Kind of.
Kind of is better than no.
Going back to the mowing ad,
Oh, yes.
I think one thing I wanna check on, if you do go by line item, like you have admin department and it's, let's just say 20,000 and it's split between 15 different
Uh-huh.
categories.
Yep.
If you overexpend in one and you don't in another, are we still okay?
Well, that's what I was saying. Do we really need to break it all down? We can say, for admin, we need $20,000 and it's gonna cover these things. We can then put the buckets together how we want to.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
you don't need to worry about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Jen, I'm sorry.
You know, I didn't know if, even if in parentheses, just a little bit about cleanup, so people might have a better idea of, what that entailed, if it was, you know, removing limbs or
Yeah.
branches, winter debris, I mean, you know, so they don't think it's major,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Winter debris to allow mowing,
yes.
basically.
Yeah. Which is what I think the people that we have
Yeah.
now do.
Yeah,
Right.
so if we just say debris, don't need to say winter,
Yeah.
just debris to allow mowing, because debris may show up in the middle of August.
Yes, yeah.
So you'll be in Monday morning after breakfast, right?
Yep,
Yeah, okay. So we'll have time to get that ad in
yep,
before noon time.
we should try and finalize it today.
Yeah, okay. Oh, Jen, I have the copy thing, I brought it over here.
Oh, yeah,
if you're-
sure.
If you're looking for it.
Yeah, no
so-
problem, no problem.
Okay, let's see now.
Erin, see if your girls want to give this to a friend.
Okay, I can do that.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I got so many keychains.
I know, it's crazy.
Let's see. 226. I'm gonna go see if I can talk to Microsoft about this charge, since Danielle and I had no luck getting on.
Do you have any trash, Aaron?
Not enough to,
Jen?
I'm gonna go,
No? No?
I'm
Okay.
gonna go into the planning board room, since this involves my personal credit card.
yep. I did, just borrow your ad for the mowing and put all the ones that I had together, so I will reply with all 4 of them for us to look at.
Okay.
Isn't the bucket that's outside the door? Right.
Let's see.
Is it that bucket for the, yeah.
For the stove,
It's just,
heating, stove or boiler removal, and the septic wiring.
See, I think we should combine the stove and the boiler. I mean, they're gonna be running a line.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, all right, yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Did you see the proposal?
yes. Yeah,
Frankly, that's better than I thought it was gonna be.
yep.
All right, what am I looking here? Let's see. All right, I'll be back.
Well, if you're not here, I'll see you.
Yep.
Or when it's there, I'll see you Monday.
See you Monday.
PT, sit in the car. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Okay, you don't wanna go? Okay. I'll leave ya.
So I'll write that up as a combo as well.
Was that asking for bids for installation?
Yeah.
More than the 2 that we have already, or that we've asked, right?
Yeah, I don't know that we've gotten anything back from JP Carroll, right?
I don't think so. I mean,
Right.
I haven't seen anything, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Is there more that we had to? So you said Saban's coming to take the lockers.
Wednesday morning. I don't think I've heard anything from him if he needs help.
once we get that stove installed, we'll have to see about selling the old one. The one that's in there now.
Yeah,
Did David turn that on?
no,
No.
nope,
Oh, you're still in work?
Yeah.
yep, we run till 4.
Oh.
I will reiterate that Mellon's agreed to pick up business recycling. So tomorrow's a recycling day, for those that are listening. Mellon's has agreed to pick up business recycling. You gotta have the sticker, it's gotta be in the, what do you say, 48, the 48 gallon or less cans.
Yes,
Yeah, no giant
no giant,
ones.
Yeah.
They're still not doing commercial, unless you contract with them, they're not doing commercial trash. But he said that they would be willing to pick up recycling, which would actually be good for us to help get our
get our numbers up,
recycling numbers up.
percentages, and,
Yeah.
yep.
And
So-
tonnage costs down.
Yeah,
No, I don't, it won't,
Yes, yes, because if the recycling is going in regular solid waste, we're paying a tonnage fee for that every month. 'Cause
well, that
it's
helps,
part of the
that helps with
solid waste.
regular recycling.
right,
But,
But
yeah,
But the regular recycling, no, there's no charge for that.
right,
But if they don't recycle, it is costing the taxpayers.
right,
Right, but
because
we don't-
if they're putting it in their trash,
Yes.
right.
right, the taxpayers, but we're not paying, if businesses put recycling in their trash, that doesn't, I don't think that affects.
It only affects them.
Yeah, it only affects them, not
Right.
us.
Yeah, right, because they're
Yeah.
not part of this.
Right.
I understand, but things have changed here. Yeah.
Like Danielle, she update to do or.
I did put together a,
There is a number.
like a brief expectations for the CEO that we talked about.
Oh, good, okay.
So from like a reporting standpoint, and like an hour standpoint,
Is it more than what's in the job descriptions? I mean, those should be expectations as well.
it's more specific.
Okay.
Yeah, like specific information that we'd be looking for in reporting and specific timing in terms of expectations on hours.
Okay.
Um,
I think also, when we were looking through the personnel policy MMA sent for suggestions, there has to be an evaluation process as well.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it just needs to, the expectation has to be set, whatever it is.
Right. Is that, did you add it to the personnel policy, or no? It's a
No.
whole different one? Okay.
No.
Maybe, it's not something you've sent, though.
No, I didn't send anything over yet. I
Okay.
didn't know what we wanted to do with it, so
Yeah, I
I was
think-
just hanging on to it for now.
I think that's worth a discussion.
If either of you and Trio Web, make sure you get out. She's going to do an update. Everyone has to get out.
So
Trio Web,
You're kidding. Everyone has to get out of it in order for her to,
do an update. That's not unusual. I know. No. Plus they had to do a.
wasn't unusual a few years ago, but,
I know. Trio well.
Oh, I got looking at the we got that CDS thing from Susan Collins people.
Yes.
So I got looking into that and kind of what it entails, and so they want you to have like a specific project. They want you to have like letters of support. So I don't know if, I mean, I don't think it's anything we're going to be ready for this year, but
Yeah.
I think it's something that we should
Maybe
be putting in for going forward. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what specific projects. I think, you know, the park is doing the park is one for the rec committee.
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks are easy though, right? I mean, it's not like we need to do the whole stretch. It's
Right.
just more so the
DOT
the last
on that.
quarter mile.
Yep. Yep. DOT has grants, but then again, the same kind of a, you know, a necessary support. And I know I'm going to be really busy with the community resilience grant that we're getting.
Right.
It's going to be like,
Yeah, especially because it's federal.
yes.
Yeah,
I have a Zoom about that next Wednesday morning,
yeah.
so I'll know more then.
See you later.
See you, Deb.
Yeah, because I was looking at, there's a community facilities grant program, which is for town hall improvements, which I think we'll be able to use
Yep.
for the heating system. So I'm gonna look into that a little
Uh-huh.
bit more.
That would be great.
There's a land and water conservation fund that does funding for kayak launches.
Uh-huh.
So if we decide from a from the rec standpoint, if we decide we're gonna look to do that on the river down there,
Mm-hmm.
then that would be a good thing to look into, because
Right.
they would provide sort of the, you know, the launching aspect of it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know what it,
definitely.
I don't know what it entails.
Or it's gonna be like going with that, you know, you're gonna have to go through SRCC and,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, all kinds of environmental stuff but.
And then
it's doable.
sidewalks, I know you had the one, SMPDC one.
Yeah.
There's also what's called the Village Partnership Initiative.
Where did I see that?
I think I sent it to you when you
may-
guys were looking at
yeah.
doing the crosswalks back
Yeah.
before I became a selectman.
Okay,
Yeah,
yep,
you were looking at doing the crosswalks, and so that's specifically for sidewalks and crossings.
yeah,
So that might be a good one to look into,
yep.
because there's definitely some broken sidewalk there
Mm-hmm.
in front of like the Chalmers.
Oh, yeah, it's a
Like,
mess.
right there.
Yep,
Yeah, it's literally like, you know, a little bit past there and then down to the
where the
Stanley
daycare
building,
was.
like the
yeah.
Stanley building, yeah. Could use some freshening,
Right,
yeah.
right, and the bridge is okay. And I actually finally got a, email, that the 4 lights that are on the bridge there,
Yes,
that the 2 in Porter are charged to Porter.
interesting.
Yeah, they are. So I was like, okay, that, but what that doesn't help is how we change the light bulbs if we need to, because CMP doesn't do that on those lights,
Right,
because DOT installed them. But
Weird.
when the fire chief was here yesterday, you know, I asked him about his ladder truck.
yep,
And I said, well, you know, is there any possibility that maybe this could happen if we need to change the light out? And he said, probably.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if we ever get to that point, we can maybe
Yeah.
tap them for getting up there.
yeah.
Mm.
Were you here when we had the alarm system installed? I don't know if you know who did it.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just wondering if there's a way for us to look at doing, I mean, there's gotta be a way for us to set it up so that somebody can enter the
Punch
building.
their way in or do so. I totally agree.
And,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we've got the cameras, so I'm less worried about issues with that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not terribly worried about it anyway, because.
Right. The people that we would allow to.
Right.
Right.
You know, they're gonna be signing something, they're gonna have to give us the insurance piece, you know,
Mm-hmm.
there's, and then that thing you sent the other day, the, I thought it was you. This is all tonight, where'd it go? Oh, no, Deb sent it. The, Gather Guard?
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, that sounds, I mean, that kind of sounds like free insurance, which, nothing in this world is free, but
Yeah,
I'd be interested to kind of learn more about that.
I don't think I even saved it.
Gather Guard locations. You provide a list of locations and venues in the E911 program contact name to enroll the municipality in the Gather Guard program. The town chooses to enroll. I will provide that information to Gather Guard. They will identify the location, assign a venue code, and link.
Oh,
What's
this is
that?
for people who don't have it, right? Wasn't that what?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's for people who don't have liability.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they can get it through this company, I believe, but every group that does any activity here has given us their liability coverage.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, if we're gonna look to do that, then that was something we would want to get involved with.
yeah,
If we were gonna start offering that opportunity to people, they would.
right. If
You
they
know,
didn't have.
you either need to add us to yours or get a Gather Guard coverage.
Right. People who have, like, parties and stuff here, they can get it through their homeowners.
Yep.
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 So hasn't been too big of an issue,
No.
no.
I think that was all I have. I don't. I know David's not here, but I don't have anything else and don't foresee a reason to continue the workshop at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the ads and,
Yeah, and feel free to add details, make edits, whatever.
the wiring that needs to be connected, isn't some of that underground on the,
I don't know.
I think that's what Dave said.
Yeah.
It might, which might be an issue, you know,
Right.
in terms of, but we can ask him. It sounded like it might have been. Hey!
We're still in our workshop, so.
Benson's not here today?
No,
They
she
just
went home early.
They just went home, we just missed him.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you, Heather? Hello, ladies. How are you? Shorts. Do you know it's still cold out? You silly girl. You're the smart one today.
There you go. Gotta be able to move and kick, right?
Well, have fun.
What are those?
Oh, stumping it out right now? Yeah,
I haven't been here for a couple
What are
of
Yeah.
those?
gone.
yeah.
Do you want to go sit over in one of those chairs so that you're not on camera?
I didn't lock the planning board room.
Oh, yeah, should be all right over there for a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Jen and I were just saying neither of us have anything left. I don't know
Okay.
if, don't know if you did.
No, I can take a look at the ads that you send over.
Yeah.
The septic wiring, does some of that involve digging and being,
I think I finally understand
Okay.
what Keith is saying.
okay,
I think everything is actually operational. I think.
okay,
The issue is that the way it is set up is 1986 technology, and none of those connections, none of that junction box should not be in the tank.
I do remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. So,
Oh, okay.
so it's operational. I will verify that.
okay,
Yeah, but, yeah, so we may not have an issue there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, because if it's just because it's not up to current par, then I think we're all right.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can choose to approve those on Monday. I can get them posted to the website.
Sure,
It looks like everything is moved over to the new website. There's a couple things in there that need some fixing. The tax maps they just moved like the main map over and didn't
Yeah.
move any like the sub maps.
Huh, interesting.
So there's like little things like that that have got to be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and then just moving some things around, like just where they placed everything. Somebody just moved it over,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
kind of willy nilly, and
Yep.
so it's all there. It's just in weird
Not
spots.
where it's gonna end, be
Yeah.
forever? Okay,
So
okay.
Something that I'd really like to get back on there, which we lost 2 or 3 years ago, is the ability to click on the main tax map to open a particular tax map. R7, just click on R7.
Oh, yeah, so because now you have to scroll
Now you
down
gotta
and
go
get to,
down.
right.
yeah,
Yep.
It's tiny and,
yeah,
yeah.
You're using, sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
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 So anyways, I would like that.
I will see.
I mean,
I don't know what's capable.
oh, I bet it is.
I'm sure, but yeah,
So, you didn't send a mowing ad over?
well, you'd sent the mowing ad to us. I didn't change anything.
Oh.
I just
okay.
borrowed your mowing ad and replaced the top section. Yeah,
You
yeah.
did say that, yeah. So, Jen, do you have a markup of the mowing ad or no?
Let's see what,
I mean, I can take a
oh,
look.
okay, no,
Okay.
I didn't put anything in there.
Okay.
Open in Word. One person to solicit.
Okay. So we can just say in that first part.
Are you on it then? Removal of debris from mowing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can also post those to MMA
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
to kind of throw the net a little further,
yep.
see who's out there.
What do they post them on?
They have their own like area for it
Yeah, on the MMA.
on the
On
MMA
their
website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever seen any, I'm gonna go to it.
As Debbie mentioned, that's where we sold
Oh,
the cruiser.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Occasionally stuff gets
No,
put on there,
this
like
page is not working
like
right
old
now.
fire trucks and stuff. It's
Right,
kind of
yeah.
neat. Yeah.
You should see when I've gone down to the emergency management meetings in Alfred.
Yep.
The guys are, most of the EMAs in the towns located like on the coast, they're all fire chiefs or ambulance chiefs or anything, but they sometimes bring their brand new shiny fire trucks
Oh,
to
yeah.
show off. It's incredible, and they're pulling trailers that have ATVs on them
Oh, yeah.
and chainsaws on them and everything, and I mean, we're talking bright, shiny, like,
Yeah.
like a kid would love under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, they're pretty proud. And I tell them I'm just out here in Parsonsfield.
Yeah.
Just clicked on MMA and it said their website is not working. Oh, here it is now.
Yeah. Once you have to log in first, and then there's a bids and RFPs section.
There you go. Even classifieds.
Yep. All kinds of goodies.
Hmm.
Okay, one more try for the mowing ad. Coming your way. Let's see. And Scott, get out of there. I think I got this Microsoft stuff straightened out.
Huh.
It is 2 seats of Microsoft Office. That $208
It's
is
weird.
for.
Yeah.
He could not tell me what machines or what accounts, but we should be able to tell if we can get on the admin account.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
because
was correct.
they're all on GoDaddy.
Yeah, but this was,
Older.
yeah, I don't know that they were all migrated to
Okay.
GoDaddy. I started using GoDaddy when they started offering it, and it was either the same or a better price than Microsoft had, and I wanted to have everything at the same place.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Yep.
But these charges are directly from Microsoft, so
So they're for something
don't
else.
think,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's weird.
Well, they put, let's see, a new system in Debbie's, one of the counter systems, Renee. There are
Yeah.
3 systems right there. It could have been any of those old systems.
Right.
Yeah, I can rescue Danielle.
Oh, she,
Do you want to close this out? I think we're
our workshop, sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
okay.
Yep. All right. We're ending the workshop, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Because I'm gonna be taking the trash out.
Talk to you Monday.
Yep.